Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
And a good morning to you all. It's the 16th of August, 2022. And it's a Tuesday, and I think Susan's there. Yeah,
I am. It's a little hectic about here, but I got half of my family sitting out in the backyard taking COVID tests because somebody woke up with laryngitis. And somebody else won't let them in the house.
Who's the somebody else?
Well, the other sibling.
I gotcha. So, God. So, in other words, your son's family is all like stuck outside?
Well, pending a negative test, yes. Yes, we'll see what happens. So,
mighty. Yeah, life in the time of COVID. Well, I was thinking, and it didn't even occur to me after a while when I was traveling the other day. Most people, even like at O'Hare, are not wearing masks.
No.
I mean, they're just
people
not.
just decided that it was gone.
And you know what? I even got to the point, because when you're around that after a while, you just, okay. And I was thinking, because the plane was packed, I was thinking, did the guy who sat next to me, was he wearing a mask? And then I thought, no. But at the time, it didn't even occur to me. I mean, you can either be in a constant state of, of anxiety, or you can just, I don't know. I do not know. Unbelievable.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that everybody gets through
I'm
this.
sure it'll be fine. Whatever. I'm sure it'll be fime. So how far are they? Are they at the waiting the 15 minutes part or whatever?
Yep.
So we'll know we'll know soon.
We'll know soon.
Okay. Well,
if anybody bothers to tell me.
Well, I would think if they want to come in, it's at least a nice day.
I'm locked up elsewhere in the house, so that.
God Almighty.
Well,
Okay.
that's just for noise because.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, are you? Well, we shouldn't talk about all this stuff. Are you planning on going home today?
Mm-hmm.
What
Am I planning what?
Going home to Chicago today.
No, I decided that I was going to stay here for another several days, just to rest.
Okay, to recover.
Just to recover. I mean, and to let But
others are going today.
My son says they're out and they're listening to us, and he's laughing. He said he'll text me and let me know.
Okay. Good luck. Good luck, you guys. Love you all. Jeez. All right. Well, God damn, what a world. I don't even know where to go. I got lots of possibilities here that involve animals, but...
well, somebody gave monkeypox to one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To a monkey?
No, to a dog, I think.
Oh, okay. How about that polio showing up in the New York City water?
Well, people stopped vaccinating, the idiots. I'm at the point where, a whole bunch of people need to get paralyzed so we can teach the vaccination lecture again. Because dying apparently doesn't convince anybody. Maybe making you live paralyzed will.
We are devolving, and certain members of our society just seem to desperately want to go back to another time, I guess, before vaccines, before women had any rights before black people had any rights. I mean, it just seems like that's what they want.
There's a whole group of people, I would suggest they're of a certain color and a certain gender, that want everybody else to be back and re-enslaved.
Yeah, but I also want to say that a lot of this anti-vaccine stuff comes from the new agey idiots that think they're liberals and are
oh no, well no. See, I don't like that. They might have that as their political thing, but that's not the overweening part that makes those people make that decision. They are selfish, narcissistic. You risk your kid, and I'm rich and capable of sitting back and seeing. Those people drive me nuts.
I know. Okay, now take a deep breath.
No, but they do. They consciously make the decision that they are going to watch you risk your child.
So
and that your child should be the herd that protects their child. I mean, that's just the most anti-community sentiment that anyone can hold.
That's how they understand America. That's how they understand what freedom is.
Right, America, the country of freedom and anti-community.
Yes, that's how they perceive it. It's calm. I hate to tell you, Susan, community is like communism. Yeah. And anything that's like calm is not good. It all has to be about whatever the self-absorbed individual. That's what America was built on. That's individual initiative. There's not a patriotic American who had any help getting anywhere that he ended up. None. Everybody did it on their own. You're not going to get me all worked up today, by the way.
I'm not even trying to.
No, I'm just playing at it. I saw the funniest thing I turned on my TV yesterday afternoon
I haven't turned on a TV for a week.
Yeah, right. I don't often. And it was like all of a sudden the silence in my house had gotten to me. And I was just getting dressed. So I thought, all right, I'm going to put it on. And it was on, I guess CNN is what popped it up. I keep telling people I don't listen to CNN anymore. So when I say this, they're going to think, see, she listens. So it was an interview with Leon Panetta. And he was sitting in his house, looked like a basement room. It looked like there was a globe, there were books, there was a mess of a desk. And way in the background, there was this big dog asleep, stretched out on the floor. And I so loved that he did that entire very serious interview about, the loss of American democracy, and knowing that big old dog of his was just going to sleep through it and not make any trouble. I loved it. And I kept waiting for somebody to, like the CNN guy to note the sleeping dog, but he didn't. I just watched the sleeping dog the whole time. I loved it. You don't think that's funny?
Yeah, I do.
No, because you don't see that. The only time animals seem to show up in these live interview things are by causing trouble, barking or doing something they're not supposed to, because most people get them out. And I was thinking, I like you, Leon Panetta, for having that dog.
Well, I
like the dog.
I think during a pandemic, standards got loosened a lot, and kids went in and out, and dogs came in and out, and cats walked across in front of the computers, and half the time the interviewer was simply charmed and happy to have it look like it actually was, instead of everybody pretending it was some professional setup.
Well, so Jill Biden has tested positive.
And my granddaughter has tested negative.
There you go. The one with laryngitis?
Yep.
All right. How about everybody else?
I don't think they all tested. I only brought out one test.
Oh, you were doing... Oh, I thought only she had to be tested. So everybody's okay?
Well, they're masked.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Excuse me. Anyone who took offense.
Well, no. I mean, whatever. There's other small children in the house. I don't have a problem with protecting people from illness, whatever it is. There are other illnesses.
Yeah, but we used to share our illnesses and thus get our immune systems working. Right? I mean,
that's true.
What are we? Well, we think now that we're never supposed to ever get sick again just because I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. All right, so Liz Cheney's gonna get beat today.
And then she's gonna run for president.
Yeah, she's gonna try to save the Republican Party. She's not gonna be able to, but what she might do is splinter it. So I wish her all.
Well, I mean, I would suggest that and someone else suggested it, but I had been thinking it as well, that she's simply trying to save the party that her father was instrumental in breaking.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But see, it all just went a little too far.
Well, but he was the tip of we're just going wherever we want to go and we'll make up the facts to back us up. I mean,
well, no, I think when history gets written, the guy who's going to get the finger pointed at him for really taking this where it went is Newt Gingrich. I really do.
Oh, yeah. There was a whole group of people that were starting down this road. But yes, you were right. He was the thrice divorced left his wife when she had cancer to go marry someone else.
Oh, what a vile human being.
Who preached family values.
Yep.
And
right. And he weaponized politics. He shut down the government. He's the one who sort of started down the
death limit stuff, right?
The lawless road that the Republicans then went. Hey, here's something I saw that is a good news. As these states try to outlaw abortion, as they outlaw abortion, and then attempt to make sure that no woman can even have access to methotrexate, which is the abortion pill, right?
Right.
And they're figuring out ways that they can, I don't know. I don't think a state is allowed to intercept the U.S. mail. So I don't know how legally that works. But I saw that, this pharmacy that Mark Cuban has set up, which is a totally mail order pharmacy. Mark Cuban's pharmacy is offering methotrexate for 58 cents a pill.
Good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. I mean, he really has taken on big pharma with this stuff. But if he can, further social causes and stuff at the same time, good for him. And I sure didn't always feel that way about him.
Well, he's not necessarily a likable guy, but he's not as appalling, believe me, as most billionaires, and his politics are
correct,
progressive.
Yeah,
pretty good. By the way, the house he grew up in is for sale in Mount Lebanon, if anybody wants it right now.
It might have good brain genes in it. You never know.
Yeah, it's not a remarkable looking. It's just a regular, ordinary old, 50s, looks like a split level-y kind of place. But I did note that. Rudy Giuliani, he's going to jail. And you know who else is going to go to jail? And this pisses me off. Trump's that little weasel of a man who kept Trump's books, Weisselberg.
Yeah, he pled. He's fallen on his sword.
No. He's not. He won't.
He won't turn, and he's pleading guilty.
He won't turn. But they're letting him. Why are they letting him off if he won't turn against Trump? Because he won't. And they're still giving him. Apparently, the scuttlebutt is he'll have to serve maybe 5 months in jail or something.
He better get more than that.
Some kind of a fine.
He better get more than that.
Well, I don't even understand why they would. Why would you not just force him?
If he's getting a sweetheart deal, then he gave them some information, and because those two things do not compute.
Well, thus far, then what I'm reading,
they've got to start putting some of these.
This is under the new
white
district attorney.
Male crooks away.
This is under the new DA and.
God, where's Martha Stewart? Can they get Martha Stewart for this?
God bless Martha Stewart. I saw she's doing a PSA with Snoop Dogg. And
well, they do a show together, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, no, they've been a pair for a long time. They do a very cute show together.
Okay, well, they're also, I guess, he's an ex-felon too, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're doing a thing about how, look, we need you to know you can vote. But then I saw it's something about how even if you're a felon like us, you can vote. On the other hand, that's not necessarily true. I mean, aren't there states that prevent felons from
voting? My guess is they are running the ad in states where it's true.
Yeah.
You know, like Florida, for example.
Yeah, but Florida comes up with other ways to keep him from voting.
Well, they just turn you away. They just don't follow their own law.
Well, I think they also almost create almost like a poll tax. Like, yes, you can vote, but first you have to pay all your. I remember reading something like you have to pay all your
to pay back for your jail time.
Whatever, I don't know. You know, listen, these people are just wondrously creative about screwing people. Just amazing. What else? So yeah, Giuliani's toast. But Trump, I don't know. Who knows?
I'm going to switch phones, dear six.
It doesn't sound good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that better? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's this hysterical ad or tweet, or I don't know how he put it out, that Dr. Oz, you know, who's running for. He's a senator from Pennsylvania.
But he's running mostly from New Jersey.
New Jersey. I mean, he doesn't even know. Every time he tries to say a place name here, he gets it wrong, the pronunciation. So he has this hysterical thing where he's in a grocery store and he says, I'm just here to pick up some vegetables. My wife wants to have Crudités and dip. And
that's speaking to the people.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, Crudités. So he grabs a head of broccoli. He says $2. He grabs this huge thing of carrots and says, I don't know what, $2. He grabs something else. He grabs some salsa and makes some absurd remark. And then he says again, look at the cost of this just for Crudités. He says it twice. Is that not the funniest, tone-deafest?
Well, but he just is.
And so, of course, Fetterman immediately. I mean, Fetterman. Oh, God,
Fetterman just sits back and waits.
God bless you. He just sends something out saying, here in Pennsylvania, we call that a veggie tray.
And it's even more important for all people to be able to access vegetables just to put on their dinner table and not necessarily to serve to their guests.
Crudités.
Crudity.
Uneffing. Boy, when it comes to in the annals of bad political campaigns, I think Dr. Oz is going to have some serious standing in that category. This is just, unbelievably ridiculous campaign he's running. I mean, I haven't seen polling numbers, but wow. I hope all other Republican candidates are as stupid, idiotic, and tone deaf as he.
Aren't you beginning to wonder how some of these people could actually get through medical school?
Well, but Suze, I think you've been around enough highly educated people to know that there's different kinds of intelligence, right?
I guess.
So so somebody who can, get through medical school doesn't necessarily have to be smart about human beings and interpersonal relationships. And I don't know. Some of the stupidest people I know have, degrees.
Well, it reminds me of our brilliant brother who, when in search of smoked salmon, asked me where to look, and I said it's in the back, meaning the spare refrigerator in the utility room. And 5 minutes later, he says he can't find it anywhere. And I go back and I see him standing in the middle of the floor, looking through like bags. And I said, "Did you open the refrigerator?" And he goes, "Oh."
But he's a genius, and
he's a genius. I'm just offering evidence, and I just looked at him and I held my head and shook it, and then of course he felt humiliated, which was of course my fault.
Okay, here is the greatest job in the universe that I have come across. Although, for some people this would not be a great job because it would take a very special kind of person.
Candy tester? Wine drinker?
No, the candy tester we talked about already. I once did an interview with a guy whose job was to name paint colors. That's another one. These kinds of jobs that you cannot believe. But this,
yeah, but you go to work on a bad day and something gets named bile yellow.
Well, it could be.
That's a real distinct neon yellow in dogs.
I've believe me, I know. No, it's I read this in the New Yorker. A professional cuddler.
Oh yes, formerly known as sex workers.
No, wrong, incorrect.
Oh no, they just cuddle. I got it.
It is just cuddle, and the professional cuddler they talked to in this article says, some people don't understand. They say, "Is this sexual? Can we get naked?" And when they realize no, they're disappointed. No. So it is really about human touch. It is about how so many people are deprived of human touch. I remember early in the pandemic, because I live alone, starting to really need, the touch of a human hand.
Yeah, well, I very deliberately during that period started going up to Mother and just saying, "Come on, we got to hug each other. We just have to."
So that really, his business took off during the pandemic, and but reading about this, it turns out that there are you have to be certified. There are not that many professional cuddlers in the United States, but they're out there. I don't even know if there's any in the whole state of Pennsylvania. It says there's one in Missouri, very busy one in Missouri. California, of course, has 17 professional cuddlers. And here's the way it works. I don't know if he goes to their place. Normally, the way this guy seems to work is you go to him And there are 80 different positions available. $90 an hour. And a 2-hour minimum. Now, I got to tell you, if you yourself don't mind hugging strangers, lying around with your arms around somebody you don't know, would that be a great way to make
Well, it would, but you'd have to be willing to hug whoever walks through your door.
That's right. That is correct.
And I'm just speaking as someone who is married to someone who simply had to listen to people for 45 minutes. When you encounter inevitably someone that you simply don't like, it's very difficult to do the work well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't excuse you from doing the work well. But that is, people do have to overcome that sort of stuff. And in that case where it's so, I don't care whether it's sexual, it is intimate, that's difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I figure this would.
And by the way, when I made the comment that I made to begin with, there are plenty of people that seek out sex workers to cuddle.
Just to do exactly that.
Right.
That kind of human touch.
That's right.
Clarence, hello.
Clarence?
Hello. There we go. I was 3 hellos.
Did that sound like Bueller?
Yeah. I was 3 hellos in before I heard the beep. I was like, I usually wait for the beep, and then about.
You're supposed to. They tell you to wait for the beep.
Yeah. But you were going. Clarence.
Yeah, but then you gotta. Yeah.
I originally called because of the different kinds of intelligence, and then you got on that whole cuddling thing. It was, and I was sitting there thinking, like, yeah, everybody's like, oh, the pandemic, I need human touch, and I was like, I was in my glory. now that the masks are coming off, people are like, oh, it's great, masks are coming off, but those arms are opening wide at me again. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, come here. Everybody wanted these hugs and this human touch nonsense. I said, okay, all right.
You don't like being.
I'm definitely not a hugger. Because I said they're thinking, like, people get their pets and stuff because they don't want to be at home alone, and they get their dogs to cuddle with them as they watch their programs and all that kind of good stuff. And all that's what they're thinking is like this. This is my new thing I've been telling people. I said, I don't want, for some reason, maybe because I'm an old man, I want zero responsibility, zero obligations. Just none. I have a bunch of plants. And I said, the one thing of the difference between plants and animals is plants don't poop. Just water them and leave them alone.
You don't need poop bags. That's absolutely right.
You don't have to take them to the vets. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to vacuum up the fur. It's just pure, no responsibility, no obligations. And I said, this is almost, I'm getting close to pure freedom. Because I told somebody, I said, I'd probably be happy just being a brain in a jar. I said, it sounds cold, but I said, I think I'd probably be just happy just sitting around thinking up crap. Bad jokes and philosophies.
But that's basically what you do, so you don't have to disappear your whole body. You are just a brain in a jar.
A brain in a jar.
And a brain in a jar.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, jars are nice and they're cold through the touch and nobody wants to caress them.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, you're a brain in a jar that poops.
Exactly. At least I don't have to pick it up. A lot of shit comes out of both sides of my body.
Yeah.
All right. Let's enough.
Okay. The real, the two different kinds of intelligence. Because I was talking to this guy who, has his doctorate and all this, his PhD in some finance or something like that, or one of my arguments on Facebook, and this was years ago. And I said, look, you might be really good at, money, but who do you go to fix your car? I said, if your transmission goes up, all that knowledge you have about money isn't doing you any good. And I said, think of it this way. I said, even a surgeon is just a mechanic for the body. I said, a surgeon can, operate on a body, but he can't operate on an engine. I said that those guys are just amazing. They're the guys who could just take apart an engine, see what's wrong with it, and then put it back together are just as amazing to me as a surgeon.
Well, I actually it is the same kind of thing.
I know a surgeon here who feels exactly that way about himself. Mm-hmm. He just shrugs his shoulders and he goes, it's just a machine, and if it's broken, you fix it, and it's just like anything else. But because he thinks of it that way, he does transfer across does a lot of stuff. And when he's not doing that, he's farming. He's growing things. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't like animals either.
God, you two can't get a fucking word in edgewise.
Sorry, it's your show, Lynn. Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well.
So anyway, Susan, what I was saying. Don't hang up on me. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
No, Clarence is saying go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to throw both of you off.
Okay, Clarence, we're having our giggle for the morning. We're thoroughly irritating my sister. So go. Oops.
Well, because so go ahead. But I was actually wanting to talk more about this cuddling thing, but Clarence, you have totally sucked the air out of it.
No, okay, but believe me, I understand the. Matter of fact, my best friend, this happens to be a woman. She's a cuddler. And I think that we're best. I think that we're best friends is because we can come over here. She can come over here. We can have these deep philosophical conversations. So she knows she's not going to be touched. It's like I'm touching you. She knows
I just want people to know that if they want to find a cuddler, there's a place called Cuddlist. And it's a sister company to HearMe.app, which is an online therapy platform. I don't know if there's any professional cuddlers in Pittsburgh. I'd be stunned. There's only about 140 in the country. And the guy who they interview says that he has people who come. One guy he has comes more than twice a week. And he's an 85-year-old man. Yeah.
See, I'd actually cuddle with
Clarence, you're going to make some wise-ass remark. He said he cuddled with
I would literally set all of my, stuff aside and, go give that old dude, a little cuddle and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd set all that stuff aside.
Yeah.
I'm cold. I'm not
and
selfish.
That's an old man. That's an old man that's taken care of himself, which is great. Yeah. Just saying.
Well, my thought was, and I don't know how this is going to sound, but these are like human therapy dogs. They have,
Well, yeah.
No, it's exactly right.
Yeah.
And people, people that seek this out might be that, longing for a parent who never did.
Exactly.
Well, one person said to them, I haven't been held like this since I was a child. So there's also the ability to just sort of give yourself over to this sense of safety, and security that you might have felt.
Yeah.
Boy, what's interesting to me is me. What is it? What happened in my childhood makes me? You know what I mean? Any therapists listening?
That makes you averse to touch.
Yeah, averse to cuddling and hugging and all that kind of stuff. There had to be. Well, you just don't come.
Yeah, there is.
Come out like that.
Obviously, you're closed down in some ways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're not willing to become intimate.
That's interesting. I'm not willing to become physically intimate.
Yeah, I was going to say in that way.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. There's something to that. Yeah, I'll admit that.
Okay, so whatever. So
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. In about a year, I'll think about it, And then I'll say, yeah, when I was a kid, my sister used to. You know what? To be honest with you, there might be something to what I just said there.
Yeah.
My two older sisters, they used to get a kick out of tickling me until I damn near pissed my pants.
Yeah.
So there might be
unwanted touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you that I consider tickling. I consider
torture.
Torture. And I consider people who tickle without consent as
abusive.
And abusive.
You know, what's interesting about that is, it's like, excuse me, ma'am, you mind if I tickle you? And when you ask somebody to tickle, they're not going to be tickled.
Well, no, but you can with a child. If you do it, it's about duration and respect. If the child doesn't like it, if the child pushes you away, then you respect. It's those people that lean in and they are going for the intense discomfort.
Let me ask you this. When was the because I haven't seen.
Why can't you tickle yourself? Why can't you tickle yourself?
Oh, have you ever tried to scratch the bottom of your foot? You sure can.
No, not really. Because tickling has to do with power. It does have to do with not having control of what's happening to you.
Yeah. See, that touched on some other psychological thing about me. I don't drink or do drugs because I don't like being out of control.
Yeah.
That's see.
Well, I don't either, Clarence, but it hasn't stopped me. I just curate what I use.
All right, you guys.
Okay, Lynn, it's your show.
I know. Okay, Clarence, always good to hear from you. I don't know.
Same here, huh?
Always good. You and my sister got something going. I don't know.
Here's what I found interesting. I wasn't going to call today. Like yesterday, I had to work. You know, during these hours. Same thing on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. For some reasons, my Tuesdays, I'm sitting here like I was getting ready to watch some other stupid thing on YouTube. I said, and it comes up like the Lynn Cullen Show live. I was like, let me listen to Lynn.
Yeah, that's a stupid thing I could do. Okay.
All right. Have a nice day and happy birthday to Mom.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
Clarence, my wish for you is that nobody touches you today.
Well, I'm touched in my own way, so.
Right. No one wanted touching today.
Okay.
No one wanted touching. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Yeah.
Yeah, Clarence put up something about Mom. He reposted.
Oh, that's nice.
Lots of people did. Mom's gone around the world. Everybody,
I know.
Several members of the family, everybody's been doing it.
Well, how's she doing, by the way? Is she
yesterday she looked at me and she said, "When does all this bliss end?" I said,
"When is everybody getting the hell out of here?"
I said, today. So, she's having a very good time. I mean,
I know she is. I can see.
Watching her watch the kids is fun.
I agree. Yeah.
And of course, the baby already says "Babu."
Nice. Yeah. So, I don't know where to go. We can. I'm sorry. One of the things that when Panetta's dog was sleeping that they were talking about is this clear and growing sense of impending violence again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not going away. It's only increasing. There was an arrest. FBI, I think, arrested somebody right around here yesterday who was saying he was going to, I mean, he posted something on Trump's thing, that Truth Social, and that said something like "kill all FBI," and so Trump's own thing is carrying stuff like that, to kill FBI. And I guess the thing that's most astonishing to me is that people who do understand how democracies fall and understand how violence becomes something that is considered, well, I guess reasonable political expression, say that all of the ingredients are here and they're all being stoked by the former president, by Fox News, by a ton of Republican candidates, and next to no Republican is coming out and saying, you have to tone this down. You have to stop. So the entire party is complicit in what has yet to happen, but people are going to die because the mob has been whipped up again.
And armed.
And they're armed. And I've been looking at the rhetoric. And even speaking of the armed part, I was noting the other day how it is a rare Republican candidate whose ad doesn't somehow get around to showing them with a gun.
Holding a gun. They got to be, and it has to be an AR-15.
Yeah, it has to be a big gun. Right. So there's always the gun there. And people who understand how you end up with this explosive domestic violence say that you have to, people who would otherwise not commit violence, they know can be had if what they think is happening is a war. So if you speak of it as a war, which they have, Steve Bannon, the day Mar-a-Lago got hit by the FBI, he told his followers, we're at war. So, and that word is bandied about constantly. So Republicans, the base is being told we're at war. They are told that the other side are out to literally destroy the country and them. I'm looking at quotes here from Lauren Boebert. They don't just want to eliminate your ideology. They want to eliminate you. Here's the woman who wants to be the governor of Arizona. These tyrants will stop at nothing to silence the patriots who are working hard to save America. And my question is, are you in this fight with us? This is a battle. Okay, so all of that rhetoric is there and constant, and we're not even talking about the out there social media, the Fox, the things that make Fox News look reputable. And so the FBI knows, and now the FBI is target number one. The FBI knows that there's going to be a lot of violence. And the thing is, who do they what the violence can only be random. It can only be killing innocent people. They can blow up a building, right? A government building,
right,
which I suspect we'll start seeing. And a lot of innocent people are going to die.
Yeah, it'll be Tulsa all over again.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, that's right. Sorry. Confusing my atrocities.
Yeah. So I just want to say that I think we cannot imagine, everybody who knows the way these things play out, they ain't sleeping very well. So,
well,
I don't know if any of us. People are going to be, there'll be targeted killings. There will be political assassinations, all of that. And I'm even wondering if on the end, you know, how these people always like try to make a day important, like the date that this thing happened. I'm wondering if on January 6th will become one of their days,
one of their blow up.
Everybody, where we all hunker down. I know a lot of people thought I was being a Cassandra and being like, Chicken Little and all of that for some time. But my God, everything I said where we were heading is proving to be true.
Right. And it's the same here, so if you don't think I'm waiting for, more violence, I am. That's why else insisting that those kind of weapons be available to the general citizenry? There's only one reason.
Well, they've said from day one, it's to protect themselves, it's to fight a despotic government. And now they think they've got one. God. Idiots. Frigging idiots. And there's something it's something so American about it, because to reach the level of rage they have reached and to be as incoherent as they are and
to insist on the level of ignorance such that they believe fantasy. The exact opposite of everything to be true.
Yeah. Just total fantasy. That's the scary part to me, because I don't know how you can correct something like that. How do you pull people that have gone off the reservation? And why? I read somewhere where, this gives people who feel forgotten and like nobody cares about them. This makes them feel there's a reason to get up. Important. Yeah. There's a reason to get out of bed in the morning, and I am powerful, and I am going to act. And that somehow Trump managed to tell all these people that give them the words and whatever that would give them a sense of how to articulate their sense of grievance. It's also nuts.
Yep.
It is all so nuts.
Yep.
And he's just working right off the dictator playbook. And what's fascinating is we know he doesn't read, so it's not like he read the dictator playbook. It just comes naturally to him. It's a talent he has. And the one thing I could never figure is, you hear historically these people are called charismatic leaders, and they're like Adolf Hitler. And every time I looked at Adolf Hitler, I'd think,
how is that guy charismatic?
I know, he just looked like a clown to me. Or even Mussolini. This is charisma? You kidding me? And then Donald Trump.
Well, you can do it on the other side. I mean, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton never was, to me, an attractive man. But if you were within 500 yards of him in person, you could literally feel his magnetism. I mean, it was a very strange thing. I attended something for him with a friend of mine, and we were closer than that. She and I looked at me and just started laughing because neither one of us particularly cared, but both felt what he exuded and what he cast upon that crowd.
Yeah. Well, it's
very real. It's a very real, very physical feeling that these guys...
But don't tell me that Donald Trump has that. That's different. Because
it doesn't work with us.
Because he doesn't even like people. the thing about Clinton is he likes people. I think that's part of his charisma. He really he needs to be loved, but he also loves in return.
Yeah, well, there was
Trump
something there. I'm trying to think of, some place where I felt it. I'm not advocating one way or the other. But just because you don't feel it in that particular place doesn't mean that other people don't. And once that feeling starts, then it spreads from person to person and doesn't need to come from the stage anymore. Then you're part of the spirit of the moment.
Well, Barbara just sent me this thing. So apparently Fox, that hadn't been interviewing Trump for a while since they were trying to pivot away from him, and then the FBI screwed their plans up, had him on. And he told, I'm just looking at it, here's words from Trump. The country's in a very dangerous position. There is tremendous danger like I've never seen before over all of the scams. And this new one, years of scams and witch hunts. And now this, I assume that's...
Yeah, the Mar-a-Lago raid.
Mar-a-Lago, yeah. People are so angry, he went on, at what is taking place. Whatever we can do to help, because the temperature has to be brought down in the country. Oh, listen, so he says this. If it isn't, terrible things are going to happen.
This is
the people of this country. Yeah, it is. I've never seen anything like this. It's a very dangerous time for our country. So it seems like he talks out of both sides of his mouth.
They need to arrest him.
Well, like on January 6th when he said, I want you to march peacefully, right? It was the only time he said peacefully. Everything else was, bellicose and you gotta fight. You gotta this, you gotta that. So, yeah, when he says terrible things are going to happen, that is literally
ordering terrible things to happen.
And you see that there are people who immediately understand that, immediately understand what they're being told.
He needs to be, they need to unseal these charges and get moving. It's not going to be easy. They just need to do it.
Well, Merrick Garland is very careful. I think, who said it? That if you go for the king, you better kill him. You can't go after him and fail. You can't. I don't know. But things are falling for him. Things are falling apart. And he is in more jeopardy. But as he gets into more and more legal jeopardy, he's only going to ratchet up the call to violence, right? Because it's the only thing that'll save him.
So who do you think the mole is? I'm still stuck on Melania. She's got so much to gain.
No. She is vile. I can't. We have another caller. Vile. Hello.
Hi. Hey,
Hi.
I just wanted to point out something really prophetic that I heard past weekend. A 90-plus-year-old friend who I always turn to for political, historical perspective. And he looked at me and he finally said, you know what? The only thing Trump has really done is explained Hitler to me. And I was just like, oh my God, you're so right. That's the only correct perspective on that. Okay, bye.
Okay, well, gee, God bless you. Goodbye. But I have the same reaction. I always said, how could the people in Germany allow what happened to happen? And your friend, your 90-year-old friend, is correct. We are seeing exactly how it happens. We are watching it happen again. Incredible.
Yeah, but let me remind everybody, at the midterms, we all have an opportunity to make sure it doesn't happen. And we have to keep doing it, and in 2 more years, we have to do it again. And no, I don't know that that avoids the violence, but the more that the electorate can take back some control, the better off we will be. So we do have one, that one arrow in our quiver, which is vote, remains the single most important weapon we have, and we need to use it each time timely.
The Times had a piece on Mandela Barnes, who's just gotta knock off Ron Johnson's, just gotta. But they said that if he can energize the number of black voters in Wisconsin has, they have not been turning out since Obama.
And they need
in
to.
Milwaukee, especially. And it is the black, and I bet black people are so sick and tired of being asked to save the damn country. No, the whole friggin' country.
Yeah, I know.
All the time. Stacey Abrams, look what she did with Georgia and getting the Senate for us.
Right.
I mean, black people constantly being asked. And Mandela Barnes can do it.
Yeah.
But he needs to energize those. And because he's so young, he can energize those younger people, not just black, but
I hope because the same thing you're counting on is going to automatically turn off a huge chunk of Wisconsin. So we'll just have to see.
Well, we'll have to see. But who would think Wisconsin, it is when there's a statewide vote, Susan.
Yes.
Wisconsin voters vote
correctly. Yes.
It's only when the gerrymander crap comes in that you end up with an entirely Republican legislature. But when asked to vote in a statewide election, they vote still progressive. And this is a statewide election that the Republicans can't gerrymander. So let's hope. I don't feel well. Okay, I was going to talk about spiders. They found out spiders dream. And I was going to talk about that today, and we never got to it. So I'm just telling my audience that tomorrow we are going to talk about spiders dreaming.
Yeah, I respect the little creatures, and they eat everything I don't like. God. So spiders are our friends, except for those ones with amazing. the brown ones with the X's on their back. Those are black widows, and they aren't our friends.
Well,
no, they're Missouri Browns or something. They're awful.
They're just amazing. I mean, they're amazing. And it was a bunch of spiders that were sort of just lying from silken threads and sleeping that got filmed. And they have little doubt that what they captured on film was REM sleep, which is to say they were dreaming.
Yeah.
God! Yeah. I love it.
About their next meal.
Well, yeah, like anyone who's ever watched a dog dream where they're, chasing something and barking.
Well, and mine the other night in his sleep did a 45-minute howl with his mouth closed. It was the cutest thing, a 45-second howl. I mean, it went through, and he's got a beautiful voice. And I was just lying there laughing, and then I went back to sleep. It was just so cute, I couldn't stand it.
Yeah. Well, God bless the animals. All right, I think that's it. Susan, hugs to all the folks in the house.
Yeah. And it's wrapping up today.
Okay. Well, it was really wonderful to be with everybody.
Yeah, it was just a terrific time, guys. A wonderful time was had by all. Really.
Yeah.
Except for the perpetual malcontents. Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Trying to think of what perpetual malcontent she's talking about exactly. I had a good time, I swear. All right, you guys. Thank you. I hope to be in better shape. I am not feeling well. So I am actually going out to get a COVID. I've used all my COVID tests. I'm going to go out and get some and give myself a little test here because I ain't feeling very good. Just saying. If you see me out and about getting stuff, steer clear. That's all I can say. Steer clear. I'm sure I'm fine, but I don't feel very good. Okay? Otherwise, I'll talk to you tomorrow about spiders, dreaming, and also about woolly mammoths. A lot of animal stuff I've come across. And also one amazing piece on the kind of violence we were just talking about, and a piece written in the Atlantic that I wanted to share with you. Okay? So thank you for being there, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.